Hi, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, where today we're going to try and take a look at this very interesting looking killer Sudoku from last weekend's World Sudoku Grand Prix. Now this puzzle is interesting to me for a few reasons. The first, and I suppose the most obvious reason, is if we look at the grid here, look how beautiful the design of this puzzle is. It's a symmetric grid, sort of mirror symmetry around the centre of column 5. And just gorgeous to be able to create a killer Sudoku that sort of has this sort of aesthetic pleasing nature. The next thing that's interesting is this, 106 points. Now that is an extraordinary number of points for one puzzle in one of these online tests. The test itself is 90 minutes. I think there's 600 points available. So a little bit of arithmetic suggests this is sort of a 15-minute puzzle. Now 15 minutes for the world's best solvers, and you have to be one of the world's very best solvers to be thinking about solving all of the puzzles in one of these tests within the 90 minutes, means that this puzzle is meant to be extremely hard. And just to let you know, I called Mark, I've rung him up just now. I said I'm going to do a video today. I was thinking of doing the killer Sudoku from last weekend's Grand Prix. He said, yes, I tried that in the test. He does compete in these still. I can't, unfortunately. And he said he couldn't do it. So he spent some time on this puzzle, and it defeated him. And this is the UK Sudoku champion. So you know that gives you an idea of what we're about to do. On top of all that, I have a very limited window to record this video, so this might be a fool's errand, in which case you may never see it. But I do want to try it. I do a lot of killer Sudoku, so I'm hoping that I will be able to do it justice. Let's just have a quick look at the results from the World Sudoku Grand Prix. You can see extraordinary time here from Tantan Dai, who finished all the puzzles in the thing correctly in 56 minutes. Go to Morinishi, reigning World Sudoku champion, only a few minutes behind. Now this is, you know, the higher echelons of solving is just insanely good. But you know, I imagine even Tantan probably took 10 minutes or so on this puzzle, looking at the times taken. So right, without further ado, let's see how we can do it. Now remember, you can try the puzzle yourselves. Just click on the link under the video. And our software will allow you to see exactly what I'm seeing now and to try the puzzle. Now that's definitely something I'd recommend before you watch me wade through it. Now where I start with killer Sudoku is I always look for the cages that are restricted. So I know that a 16 cage in 2 cells must be a 7 and 9. And the 12 cage here, look, that must be 4 and 8 now, because 5 and 7 and 3 and 9 are taken by the 16 cage already, so we need 1, 2 and 3 into the remaining cells of column 5. This 14 cage can't be 5, 9, so it must be 6, 8. And the 10 cage is a little restricted, but not restricted enough. Can't now be 4, 6 or 2, 8, but could be 1, 9 or 3, 7. So where would we look next? Well, actually, let's have a look at the bottom row, because we've got 2 13 cages and the given number 6. So neither of these 13 cages can be 6 and 7 anymore. And there are only 2 other ways of making 13, and that's 4, 9 and 5, 8. So actually, we can put 4s and 5s and 8s and 9s into these 4 cells, which means that we're looking for 1, 2, 3 and 7 to complete the row. Now, is there any way... now, hang on. Yeah, okay, so there's something we can do with column 1 here, because we have to remember our 45 rule. 45 is absolutely the key number. Douglas Adams may have disagreed, but in terms of killer Sudoku, 45 is the key number, because the numbers from 1 to 9, if you add them all up, you get 45. And that means every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box in a Sudoku puzzle add up to 45. Now let's have a look at column 1. 20 plus 8 plus 20 is 48. So I know this cell and this cell, I've got to include enough in them so that the column 1 can only add to 45. So this cell and this cell have to add up to 3. And that means they must be 1 and 2. And does that matter? Does that help me? 11. So now there must be a 9 in one of these 3 cells, because we can't have 2 9 as an option for either of these 11 cages. So there's a 9 in one of these 3 cells, and the 9 here means that there's a 9 in one of those squares. And can't quite see how to use that. But I rabbited on about mirror symmetry, look, and we've got the same thing going on around the right hand side. So we've got a 20 cage and a 19 cage, but now we've got 9 here rather than 8, so the sum is the same. 20 plus 9 plus 19 also adds to 48. So in fact there's a 1-2 pair down in, I'll do it in a different notation, like that. 1-2 pair here as well. So now we have an x-wing on the numbers 1 and 2. So we know in the finished solution either this will be a 1 and this will be a 1, with 2's in these squares, or these will be 2's and these will be 1's. So that is helpful. That's helpful. I'm seeing a few things now actually, because this 10 cage is resolved now, because it can't be 1 9, so it must be 4 6. Not 4 6, 3 7, going crazy. And now I need 4 and 9. I need to put a 9 somewhere in row 1, and there's a 9 here. So that's a 9, and this is a 4. Now what can we do with this? So this 4 means this 13 cage cannot be 4 9 now. So I can't put a 9 in either of these 2 squares, and I can't put a 9 in these 3 squares. So this 13 cage must contain a 4 9, because I must put a 9 in it. Now, can I do any better than that? Let's just have a look. We've got 13 plus 13 is 26, plus 3 is 29. These 3 cells sum to 16, and these 2 cells sum to 11. And there must be a 4 in one of these 3 cells, because there's a 4 here and there's a 4 here. Oh, that's okay. Now this is just superb setting. Look at the 1 2. Look at how these 1 and 2 interact on this block. Let's think about it. Where can we put a 1 and a 2 in this 3 by 3 block? Obviously no 1 and 2 in those 3 squares. Now we've just said these 2 squares sum to 11, so I can't put a 1 in either of these 2 squares, and I can't put a 2 either, because then the other square will be a 9, and that will clash here. What about this square? Could this be a 1 or a 2? Well, no, because then this will be an 8 or a 9. So in fact, there are only 2 positions in this 3 by 3 block for the numbers 1 and 2, and that's those 2 positions. Now that I was not expecting. But now we can use our 45 rule again on this block, because we've got 27 plus 9 plus 3 is 12, so it's 39. This must be a 6. And that means this is a 4. That means this is an 8, and this is a 4. Now, there's an 8 in one of these 2 squares. This 20 cage now has 1, 2, 4 in it. So that's these 2 squares add to 13, these 2 squares add to 13, neither can be 4, 9. So these 4 squares are 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now is that worth notating? Might be. Let's put it in 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need a 9 in one of these 2 squares. Put 9's in the corner. And there's a 4, 4. So there's a 4 in one of these 2 positions. Now we know that these add to 11, so this is a 4 and a 7. Therefore this square here must be a 3. 3, 7. Now, if we look along, we need a 3 and a 7 still into these 2 squares, don't we? Now, I'm not seeing how to resolve that, but let's put the 3, 7 options in. Maybe. One and a 2 here, so this adds to 16. Feeling I'm missing something here. 4's here, so this can't be a 4. So this can't be a 9. Ah, and the 9's up here. I mean, this can't be a 9. So this is a 5, 8 pair, actually. And therefore, this is a 4, 9 pair. 5, 8, 5, 8. Now, what can we do next? 7. If we look down these 3 cells, we must be looking at 3, 5 and 8, mustn't we? Because we've placed the rest of the numbers in this 3 by 3 block. So this is the 8, and this is 3 and 5 in some order, which we can't see yet. But that means that this 13 block cannot be 5, 8. This must be 6 and 7. And this is therefore 5 and 8. So these 3 cells here are 3, 6 and 7. Definitely notating that. 3, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7. 2 in these squares. This 9 cage now can't be 1, 8, can't be 3, 6, can't be 4, 5. So this is 2 and 7. I can't see how to resolve that, but I'm putting it in. That means this is a 2. Oh, I can get rid of the 2, sorry, there. And I need 1, 3 and 5 in this position. So this can be a 1, 3. Ah, no, this can't be a 1. It's got a 1, 2 pair still in column 2. So in fact, there's only one position where the 1 can go in row 5. That means this isn't a 1 and this isn't a 1. This design is quite unbelievable. Now, hang on. We haven't done the arithmetic on this side of the grid. So we've got 3 plus 2 lots of 11, so that's 20. These 3 cells sum to 20. So if this is a 3, then we'd have to have an 8, 9 pair in these 2 squares. Now we can't do that. So this is not 3, this is 5. Therefore this is 3, this is 5. And these add up to 15 with a 9 in them, so this is 9 and 6. These add up to 20, so these add up to 7. So this must be 3 and 4 now, because we can't have 2 and 5, we can't have 3 and 6. So this is 3 and 4. That means this square here must be a 9, this is a 4. Oh, bother. I thought that was going to give me something better than that. This 8 cage is now a little bit restricted because we have a 4 in one of these 2 squares and this 4 here. So this cannot be 1, 3, 4. It must be 1, 2, 5. 1 here, so there's a 1 in one of those two squares. 5, 5, 5 up here. So this is a 2 or a 5. Sorry about this. I know I'm going a bit slowly, but this is not an easy puzzle, which was wholly expected, I suppose, but I feel like I'm missing something. Come on, what am I missing? 7. 27. Well, let's think about this block. I still need to put a 1 in this block, so that 1 is either going here or here. Now, four, 2, 3. So let's put the 1s in as options for these two squares. So in fact, in the open positions, I need 1, 2, and 7. So this is 1, 2, 7. This is 1, 2, 7. Now this can't be a 7. If this was a 7, we'd have 7 plus 9 is 16, and we'd have 3 cells left to make the number 4. That's not possible, so this is not 7 after that. That means there is a 1, 2 pair now in this 20 cage. So we've got 3 plus 9 is 12. These two cells have to sum up to 8 without using a 1, without using a 2. So this is a 3, 5 here. That means this is a 7 at the bottom. This is a 3. We get a 6, 7 pair here. Now, what can we do? This is not 7 now. So we've got a 1, 2, so we've got a 1, 2 pair here and a 1, 2 pair in symmetrical positions there. So we've got sort of another X-wing on 1s and 2s. Good Lord. And this must be a 7. And this is a 2. Therefore, this is a 5. This must be a 2 and a 1, because we know this is a 1, 2, 5 version of the 8 cage. Now, I don't want to miss anything here. 2. This. Look what happens as a result of this 2. Look at how beautiful this is. We get to put all of the 1s and 2s around the perimeter of the grid. I mean, this is sensational, sensational setting. I mean, because obviously this one here, now this can't be a 1. Look at this. Oh, that is quite beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. Now we still need a 4 and a 6 to complete this column, so just brilliant. Now this must be 3 and 8 now. I think that's the only option left, and can't resolve it, but let's put the 3 and the 8 in. Well, that should mean that this number's a 5, I think. I think it's the only option for this 3 by 3 block, and 5, 5, 3's here. This can't be 2, 9, or 3, 8, or 5, 6, so this is 4, 7, and there's a 4 there. Look, so that's 4 and 7 in that order. That means that's 7 and 6. Do anything more? 1, 6, and 8 down these 3 squares. Well, this can't be a 1 because it's part of a 20 cage, and it can't be a 6. So that's an 8. That's a 6. That's an 8. That must be the 1. That's confusing where I put that notation. I should really put a 9 in there as well, actually. Now, I don't want to lose my train of thought. This is now an 8, this is a 5. That means this is a 5 and this is a 3. And I still need to put 1, 2, and 9, look, along row 3, and we have a 2 and a 1 there, so that is a 9. This is not a 9, but this is a 9 now, because we have a 1-2 pair in these two squares within the 12 cage. Let's just get rid of the 9 in the corner there to make sure we notate this properly. So this is a 9. Therefore, this is a 7 and this is a 9. 9 and 4. 4 and 6. Look at the way this unwinds. So clever. The 20 cage can now be filled with a 3 there. That resolves the 3 and the 4. That resolves the 4 and the 7. 9 and 6 can now be resolved. And hopefully this will be a 6, yes. Now this must be a 3 and a 5 because we already have a 1 and a 2 in the row. We need these two squares to add to 8. And there's a 3 here. So that's a 3, that's a 5, that's a 3, that's an 8. This is a 2 now because of the 3 here, therefore that's a 3. Hoping that we're sort of on the home straight. Just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything. Don't like the way that 9 is sitting there in the corner there, so I'm going to get rid of that. It's distracting me. Right, let's have a look at column 4, where we still need to place a 7 and a 6, I think. So I think this must be a 7. This is a 6. These two numbers must be 5 and 8. We have a 5 here. So 5, 8, 8, and hopefully, if I haven't made an error, we're looking at a 1 there, which resolves that this is a 1, this is a 2, this must be a 9, and if everything's gone well, I'm going to put a 2 in here, and I think that is working. What a beautiful puzzle. Now, I'm sorry it took me slightly longer than I was hoping. I'm a bit over whatever it was, 15 or 16 minutes, I think, but I was talking at the same time, so it wouldn't have been a disgraceful time by me, but not really a world-class time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope you had a go. Let us know how you did in the comments and whether you saw anything cleverer than the logic that I saw. If you enjoy the channel, please subscribe. We really appreciate it. And if any of you are in a position to do so and you could consider sponsoring us on Patreon, that's massively appreciated. We're just coming up to June now, so soon there'll be a new monthly puzzle that patrons have access to. For $3 a month, you get a video on how to solve that puzzle too. So we think that's quite good value, and yeah, as we say, be massively appreciated if any of you can. And we'll be back soon with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.